So over time, we've been saying to you that if you have a desire and your belief is the same as your desire, that's really what positive expectation is, then it has to be, and it has to be fast. Because your desire is pure, there's no resistance to it, and it's flowing to you. And you've proved that out in your own life, haven't you? The things you expect come easily to you. It's the things you don't expect that keep seemingly messing up your experience. Someone the other day says, I don't want to work there, but I have no choice. What an awful trap. I want more money, but I can't figure out how to get any. I want a mate, but I can't find a mate. And we say, when you want and you equally or greater doubt the thing you want, then you hold yourself in what feels like a tug of war to you, and it literally is a tug of war, because in your doubting you have introduced a resistance that does not allow you to go to the vortex where what you want is. First, you must accept that you are more than you see here in these physical bodies. Do you? Next, you must accept that the non-physical part of you, some of you call it the soul of you, the God of you, exists even though you are in this physical body. Is that something that you can accept? Next, it is necessary that you acknowledge that you and we are vibrational beings, and it is a vibrational relationship that we have. Good enough? Next, it is of tremendous value for you to acknowledge that the emotions that you feel are your indicator about the variable between the perspective of who you really are and the perspective of who you are being in your body. The perspective of the source part of you, the larger part of you, and the physical part of you that is beating the drum, having the conversation of something here and now. Those two vibrational aspects of you are playing against one another all day, every day, and your emotions are your indicator of that play. Easy to understand? So when you're feeling joy, your thought is in agreement with the thought of source. When you are loving someone and rippling with goosebumps, those goosebumps are your inner being's acknowledgement and agreement with the thought that you have focused within you. When you're hating someone, resenting someone, regretting something, that icky feeling within you is your vibrational emotional guidance system letting you know that while you have the free will to focus as you wish here in this physical body, you've focused yourself out of alignment with who you are, and the resistance is evident in the negative emotion. Easy enough to accept? And so this gathering, this conversation is not about needing to do anything to fix anything, because whether you are consciously aware of it or not, you are source energy. And whether you are consciously aware of it or not, you are vibrational beings. And whether you are consciously aware of it or not, while you are here in your physical bodies, you are simultaneously source energy. Bigger, more of you, source energy than physically focused. And whether you are aware of it or not, the contrast that you live causes you to expand the universe. And whether you are aware of it or not, the larger part of you takes the expansion and holds it steady and revels in the good work that you have done. And whether you know it or not, well-being abounds and always will. So this workshop is not about fixing any of that, because that's all percolating along just fine in your awareness or ignorance of it. What this gathering is about is that we don't think you should have to croak and be part of the next generation before you reap the benefit of what you have asked for. We think that you should be able to ask and receive now. We think that you should get to be the creator that you came forth to be, that life should inspire you to the new idea, and that with very little struggle, you should then be able to quite effectively then turn your attention toward the new idea and no longer justify by beating the drum of why you are asking for the new idea. Just ask, and it is given, and let it be. And we are confident that as you ask and launch a rocket of desire that you are in the beginning not a vibrational match to, that with a little bit of effort, far less than it takes you to learn a computer program, with a little bit of effort, you can turn your attention toward this new desire that you have carved out of your life experience. And as you do that, as you turn your attention toward it and familiarize yourself with the feeling of the success of that request, and let that vibration of this satisfied request be your dominant chronic offering, that it then in very short order must manifest. Because when you remove the resistance from this vibrational equation, when you remove the contradictory vibration to the desires that you have fostered, those desires have to manifest in full form for you and all to see. But then we know that even though you have manifested your desire, you now, oh, and it is such a good thing, stand in a whole new place, a whole new platform with a whole new set of contrasting experiences, which are going to cause you again to know more specifically, more clearly what you don't want, which is going to cause you to ask for what you do want. And we know that you have the ability, now you've asked with clarity, to turn and give your undivided attention to what you are now asking for. No longer beating the drum of your validation or justification or excuse for asking. You see, you don't need any validation. When you ask, it is given. We see clearly what you've put there, and we know the expansiveness of who you have become, and we know the capacity for clarity and love that is really you, and we don't blame you a little bit if you're not completely up to speed with the fullness of who you have become. You feel awful and you want it. We just want to say to you, there's no way of filling the void of not being in the vortex other than getting in the vortex. Can't buy one more thing and bring it home. Can't eat something, drink something, shoot something. You can't find somebody else to give their attention to you, to love you enough. In other words, it's not possible for you to fill the void that is the fullness of who you are without getting in the vortex, which simply means you just got to stop doing that thing you do that doesn't let you in. So what are some of the things you do that prevent you from getting into the vortex? And you understand this vortex is just this high, non-resistant energy place where you rendezvous with the source. Esther's in the vortex, otherwise she could not receive Abraham with this clarity. In other words, she is up to speed with the vibration that is us, and that's why the conversation is seamless between the intent of that which we are offering and her ability to deliver it. That's in the vortex. When you're in the vortex, that's when your inspiration is at its greatest. That's where authors and artists and musicians, that's where those that you call masters often find what they call their inspiration. They're in the vortex where they have clear view of not only the idea, but the path to which it will unfold. When you're in the vortex, things unfold for you in a way that there's no question in your mind that that's the thing to do. You know how sometimes you say, I don't know whether to go this way or that way. You're not in the vortex, because if you were in the vortex, you'd say, I'm going this way and I don't care what anybody thinks about it. When you say, those people over there and their philosophy is really awful and their philosophy is going to bring us all down, you're not in the vortex. And it's not their philosophy that's bringing you down. It's you not being in the vortex that's not bringing you up. No one can bring you down, but your standards of how up you really are keep changing. And if you don't stay up to speed with who you are, you don't feel good. So, what's the difference between a higher, faster vibration and a lower, slower one? Higher, faster feels better. It's what joy and love are. Lower, slower feels worse. It's what depression is. It's what despair and fear are. Higher, faster has less resistance. Lower, slower has more resistance. So really, the operative word that we're talking about here today is, as I stand in my human form, what is it that I could do a better job of controlling that would make the most difference in my life? And we want to say to you, if you'll get a bead on your resistant tendencies and work them into less resistance, your vibration will raise. You'll hover on the brink of the vortex, or you'll pop in often. Once you get in there, you'll be able to maintain your vibrational stability longer so the vortex won't keep spitting you out. It's interesting. You do. You focus on something that makes you feel good and you get in there. Feels really good. Then you remember something. Start focusing on it. The vortex spits you right out. Because if you're not up to speed, you can't sustain that vibration, you see. Now some say, Abraham, what about those guys that I'm pretty sure are going to ask for bad things? If they ask for bad things, will it end up in the vibrational escrow? Will it go to this vortex? And we say, first of all, you got to stop killing each other over who gets to decide what the good things are. In other words, you have a great amount of diversity in what you are asking for. And the assumption that you're the only one that is right is really an erroneous and not good for you assumption. But let's say that most everybody agrees that this one particular really extra special effects heinous act is really not something wanted. And let's say this person is smiling while he's doing it. And people say, look at him, he likes doing that. He likes dropping those bombs on those villages, or he likes taking his gun into that business office and gunning everyone down. And we say, no one ever in a state of alignment offers anything like that. When you have brought yourself into this vortex of creation that is the culmination of who you are, and when you align to it from inside that vortex where only love and well-being abound, you are not in that guarded, resistant, protective modality that makes you then erroneously believe the impossible thing that you can push away what you don't want and make it go away. So over time, we've said to you, when you want it and believe it, it is. Then we began telling you that you are a creator, and that if you are a deliberate creator, which means you think more about what you want, you script it, you write about it, you talk about it, that more of the things that you want will begin to come into your experience. Be more deliberate in your intent, we said to you. Then we watched you. You worried about your thoughts too much then. You got the idea that every word that popped out of your mouth was going to bring immediate response to that word. So you said, cancel, 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 as you tried to suck back the word before law of attraction took it away and ran with it. And so then we began explaining to you that well-being really is the basis of your experience, and that you have much latitude and leeway. And that if you will think about allowing what you want to come, that there is a step 3 process. Life causes you to do step 1, ask. Source answers, and today we're telling you not just answers. Source literally becomes the vibrational equivalent of what you're asking for and holds it in this vortex where law of attraction is gathering. Step 3 is you got to figure out how to be a vibrational match. And then for a while, we offered you the analogy that when you ask, Source answers. And as law of attraction responds to Source holding the fullness of all you've asked for, as law of attraction responds to that request, the sensation to you is like a being called downstream, naturally toward the fulfillment of what you are wanting. So the art of allowing really is about getting in the vortex. Allowing is in the vortex, resistance is not in, and of course there are varying degrees. If you're in despair, you're far from your vortex. If you're in hope, you're close enough that it's bringing you in every now and again, you see. So our desire for you is that you understand the vortex. We're not ever going to say to you, get in the vortex and stay there forever, because you came forth to explore contrast. Of course you're going to have step 1 experiences. Just don't make a career out of your step 1 experiences. Make a career out of your step 3 experiences. Let being in the vortex be what's most important to you. So, you are creators. Creators are always looking forward into what is becoming, not backward or downward into what is. When you are driving your vehicle, hopefully you're looking where you're going, not where you've been, and not where you are. You don't have those mirrors. They would make you sick if you had them. They'll look right down at the road, right where you are. Think about that. You wouldn't want to go very fast into those conditions, would you? You're just looking right down at where you are. You want to look forward to where you're going, and we want you to understand that as you become forward-looking, and by forward-looking we mean as you become one who looks in the direction not only of that which you want, but hear this, looks in the direction of that which the larger part of you has already become. This is just our way, and we are thrilled at the aha moment you just had. This is just our way of reminding you that often you are looking for love in all the wrong places. In other words, you're looking for the purchase to make you feel better, or the love of another to make you feel better, or the accolades from the public to make you feel better, when all along what you want and need in order to feel better is to find vibrational alignment with the point